Now this is one of Nirvana's most famous songs and it's an absolute banger. And the best part is it's relatively simple to learn. So even if you're a beginner, it's a great one for you to try. Now I'm going to be teaching you every single section, including the solo, in less than 5 minutes. That's right, you heard it, in less than 5 minutes. So let's get cracking. Now I believe this song is 5 minutes and 1 second long, and that 1 second might actually just be the extra tiny bit of time that I need in order for me to be able to teach you this entire song. Crazy, but I'm going to try and attempt it. So let's get the 5 minutes and 1 second on the clock, and we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Right, we're going to start with the intro and the chorus riff, the same thing. So these are played with full power chord shapes. If you don't know them, I'm going to start with the first finger and build up so you can try this even if you're a beginner. So we're going to start with E1 and we're going to move down to the A1, and we've got this rhythm that I want you to remember. I just scored 10 goals. So E1, I just scored, then move to the A1, 10 goals. Then we're going to do exactly the same thing but on the 4th fret. E4, I just scored 10 goals, moving it down. So practice that a bunch of times and then you can add in the basic power chord shape, which adds in the 3rd finger. So that's 1 string down, 2 frets across, always the same shape here. And we're going to apply that same rhythm. I just scored 10 goals, and then move to the 4th fret. I just scored 10 goals. Now once you get comfortable with that, you can add in the full power chord shape, which adds in the little finger underneath. So we've got 1, 3 and 3. Same shape for every chord. I just scored 10 goals. I just scored 10 goals. Now we're going to add some extra bits of rhythm in here. We've got this muted section in between. So we've got I just scored, and then we're going to use the word association, won the game with, muted, and then 10 goals, okay? I just scored, won the game with 10 goals. Do exactly the same thing over here on the 4th fret. I just scored, won the game with 10 goals, okay? Now, we've got one final bit of rhythm to add in, so we're going to break it into 4. I just scored, won the game with 10 goals, chicken. Now, it might sound completely mental and that doesn't make any sense, but I often find the more stupid they sound, the easier they are to remember, and trust me, this works. So, I just scored, won the game with 10 goals, chicken. I just scored, won the game with 10 goals, chicken. And repeat that round in a looping pattern. So practice that before you move on to the next section. Right, next we've got the verse. Now the easiest way to play this is B1 to E1, but I actually like to play this on fret 5 of the G string and fret 6 of the B string. So we've got this, the ding dongs. Now this starts on beat 2 and the and, okay? So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and. Now notice that I stop, I have a little rest on beat number 1, which is what it does. So you've got to get used to that in a repeating pattern. Now the ding dongs return for the pre-chorus on every beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last note before the chorus just holds out for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now next we have the post-chorus. Okay. Now this starts on the same chord as the riff. So what I'm doing here is that full power chord, E0, E1, and then move that power chord to 2 and 4, and it repeats again. But this time it goes up to 6, 6, 4, 4, and it does that twice. Now there's one extra thing that we can add in here. And we can add that extra bending note there. So what I'm doing there is bending the G3 note up. So that's actually kind of like the normal major chord shape. That's right. And it only does that on the 1st and the 3rd time of going it, okay? Now, finally, guitar solo. So I'll just play a quick example. So it's going to play that twice round. So what we've got there is D10, going to break it into 2 or 3 different chunks. So that first bit, D10, G8, G10 into D6. So then we're going to go G8, and then this time we're going to bend it up and down on that same note. G6, G5, G6, G5, then D8, D6, and then we're going to go back to D8, bend it down and back up, D6, and then back to D5. And it does that twice. And then at the end, you've got this. And it does that 4 times in total. On the last one, it just suspends. And stop there! I've done it! Yes! Just literally in time. I can't believe that's the whole song. Yes! Now, I do understand that was incredibly fast pace, and I don't expect you to have kept up with that all straight away. So do feel free to go back through the video, use the YouTube settings to slow it down, pause the video in between, and then you can go through each section at your own leisure. Now, I am going to be recording some extra content on my Patreon page where I do a deep dive on things like technique that I've used on each song. I go into detail about what sounds I've used and pedals and what sounds and pedals I recommend, things like that. So if that sounds like something that interests you, definitely go and check that out. Now, the one thing that can really help me to grow my channel is if I can ask you to please smash that like button and hit the subscribe. As ever, you've been watching the YouTube? You have been watching YouTube. You've been watching the Music Halls on YouTube. I'm KH. Until next time, keep on rocking. Oh. Ow.